listen to Kinks with Kiki. I listen to a bunch of women podcasts. And the one constant thing is men always say and do reckless and wild shit. So when I thought of this book, when I started to put it together, I was like, how do I approach this with a not so cocky, I deserve this type of attitude? And it's like, just tell it from different point of views. So it's not just a man's point of view. There's a woman's point of view. There's the third person point of view. And because of the feedback has been positive, I'm like, oh, this works out perfectly. And women are hugely, like, behind any successful man, there's usually a woman either right next to him or right behind him. My lady has been like right there. She's like, yo, this is really good. Like, I want another story. Like, where's the next story? And I'm like,
good.
Whoa, easy there. Like,
I mean, she got the real thing. She don't need the story.
she do. Yeah, well, she loves reading. So if you can seduce a woman's mind, her body submits immediately. So you got to have the confidence. You have to have the conversation, the personality before you even get to the physical part.
No, you right about that. Like, that's what I say. Like, literature is powerful. Like, not even just erotic, like just literature in general is so powerful. So, like, just add erotic, like, sex is powerful, literature is powerful. Those combined, like, yo, I'm telling you, back in high school, Zane books was like the wave, and it was like, yo, what? Like, I can't like name them off top, but I remember the girls just talking about it, and they read it to me and everything. I'm like, yo, this is some shit. So, but I never thought about doing any author stuff. Like, even the ideas I got, like, I originally wanted to collaborate. That's why it's good I'm talking to you. Like, I want to collaborate with somebody because I got the ideas, but it's like, how what authors will be down for, because like people who I know who are into like poetry and stuff like that, they're not into like erotic literature. So that's like out of their lane. So so with that said, how do you like, are you down to do like collabs and stuff like that? Not even me, I'm just anybody.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to do a collab. I originally was going to do a collab with somebody else, and we started it, and then we had like a really bad falling out. So it was like, I'm open to do it, but now it's like, you definitely have to do that communication, because what people go through in their personal life, they don't tell you, and you don't realize it bleeds into the work, and you're just like, yo, this isn't what we decided to do. So I'm definitely down. Like, if you're down, I'm totally with it, and we can definitely make that happen.
So was it like a creativity thing, or it was like outside of the book and everything?
So she was going through like a really bad breakup. And in one of her stories was like really just trashing men, and I was like, "Yo, are you good? Like, what's going on?" She's like, "Nah, y'all are trash." And I was like, "What? I didn't even do anything. Like, what's going on here?" She's like, "Nah, it's not you, but just men are trash." And I was like, "There's no way you can tell me all men are trash." And she's like, "Not all men are trash." And I'm like, "Yo, you got like 100-some thousand people following you. All the men are trash?" And she's like, "Yep." I was like, "All right, bet." And one day I woke up and she had deleted the whole Google Drive that we had created. And I wasn't tech savvy at the moment, and I couldn't get it back. I was like, all right, it is what it is. Like, don't even worry about it. I'm not mad. Mentally, it's still there, but now I know what to do and what not to do going forward.
Which is?
Keep my own backups.
That's crazy that she deleted everything, though. That's weird. Like, I mean, no communication or nothing like that. But maybe was she herself an author? Was y'all?
She wasn't, but she is very promiscuous. So she was out there doing her own thing. And I guess she caught feelings for a dude, and he was feeding her a line, and then just yanked it out from under her, and she was just not feeling it. So I was there, and when I was going through my own stuff, I couldn't be as there for her as she wanted me to be. So when she had hit me up one day, she was like, "Oh, I need somebody to talk to, or I need your help." And I was like, "Yo, I'm literally going through a life crisis right now. I can't help you." She was like, "Wow, you're my friend. You can't help me." I'm like, "Yo, somebody's dying right now that I know." She was like, "Don't worry about it." And then like a week later, I was like, "Yo, you good? Like, what happened?" She's like, "Don't worry about it. Fuck you. It's done. We're good." Yeah. Okay. So I go check the drive, and everything was gone. I was like, bet.
Yeah, shit, that's a little crazy. But best wishes to her.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what type of material do you want to use, like moving forward in your other stories?
Um, so somebody had put the idea in my head about the audiobook version, and I love the idea. A few women have said I have a great voice, and it definitely gets their motor going. And I was like, all right, this is great. But I don't know if you've heard of the story app Dipsy.
Yep.
The way they do it, I want to do something like that.
That's what I had in my mind
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So it's like instead of like, oh, he said, she said, it's people talking back and forth, and you hear it. It's like, wow, this is crazy. And then you can hear the scene unfold while somebody narrates it.
Yeah, like I mean, I'll tell you like everything in depth offline.
Mm-hmm.
The way I have it is similar to that. Like like they had dude what the hell is his real name? Sarunas from Insecure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, narrated one and everything. Like that's kind of like the way I even before finding out about that. That's how I had too, because I like to incorporate like audiobooks is definitely like my thing, like especially when I get on planes and I'm
mm-hmm.
like, I know I ain't gonna stay because I never stay up on planes anyway. So I know like me bringing a book on a plane not gonna do me justice unless I'm gonna read when I land. So I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to get the audiobook popping off and everything. And just with ideas, I've shot like that's what I'm saying. A lot, I'm not gonna say a lot, but a few people I ran into like, oh, I'm author this and that, and it's like, dang, I'll be afraid to tell them. And I told one person, I hope she don't take this my idea. Well, I didn't go too deep in my idea, but I gave like an idea how I want to do it. And
Yeah,
she, yeah, let's clap. But me and her fell out, so fuck her. but but yeah, it's like I definitely want to incorporate like a lot of things from my experience to my creativity. And
yeah,
when I tell you what the idea, I know for a fact you're gonna want to do it because just the way I got it. But because it's short stories as well, like,
mm-hmm.
but they all come together.
Mm.
It's like it played at like so, because that's how my mind is. Like I like putting pieces together and everything, and then like had people like, oh shit, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, and so how dark do you want to go with your erotic stories? Because I mean, I'll go far. Like,
I haven't reached that limit yet. So when I reach it, it'll be like, all right, this is where the line I won't cross. But as far as I know, I'm with all the shits except for like death. Like I don't want death in the book. I don't want like trauma. I don't want to push triggers without giving the proper warning ahead of time.
okay. Dude, is definitely one of my ideas. I don't know. I'll have to. It's I don't know. None of my ideas are like trauma. Well, I can't say it because I don't know. Everybody had different type of trauma. I can't say because sex itself could be
Yeah.
a trauma. Like even just simple BDSM acts can be traumatized. But it's nothing like I don't play with rape, molestation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not that like I'm not going that dark, but I mean in the act of like jealousy and
Oh no, that's fine.
yeah.
Uh, I have a few stories I'm working on with jealousy like the main factor. Um, but it all ends up being something. It grows into something else. So watch. You plant the seed to see how it goes, and as you like, when I write, I just come with a random idea. Like, oh, I seen her walk by and she stared at these shoes. These shoes turned her into like a different person now, and when she put them on, she left the person, her day person behind, and now she was out on the prowl for something else. And it goes from one thing to the next, and just to see how it goes. Because, like I said, I'm an overthinker. One thing can lead to 1,000 different outcomes, and I love playing with the ideas.
Mm. That's what I'm talking about. Like, just have fun with it. Like, just those. That's what I'm saying. So, see, you're lucky. Like, you doing this and you're in a relationship, so you can kind of write it, have your wife read it, and
Mm-hmm.
like, what you think, this and that. Me, I just write it and kind of like throw a net out there. Like, all right, let's see who like this shit.
You got to see, like, before she read it or before she was aware of it, I had like a few best friends who would read it and be like, "Yo, this is really good." And then before I was in a relationship with her, it was sexting. So I was sexting and we were good. Like she was like, yo, this is really good. I've never had nobody talk like this. So you probably have somebody in your circle. You just don't realize it. But you never know. Like it just
True.
make sure you have people sign that paperwork like, yo, don't expose my shit.
Yeah, like the NDA and everything. Like
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely but that's good you got that NDA because people will like steal ideas and stuff and I mean I personally because I'm not an author so I can't speak on this really, but I wouldn't have a problem if someone acted out, but if you
Neither.
stealing the idea like like that's different like and I mean I'm not an author but I am a creator, a content creator at that, and I take I take it very personal when people like run with my ideas, and that's actually because me and a former homie we did a short doc about a black dominatrix. Did everything, won an award in Paris and all of that good stuff.
I need a link for that.
Huh?
Send the link for that.
Oh yeah, I definitely will. And we were supposed to move forward together, obviously. And I'm the one who went to him with the idea because he's a filmmaker, and I came with the idea. So seeing him move forward with somebody else, I took it personally. Like I stopped speaking to him because I'm like, my creativity, my stuff, that's my baby, and you just like took that from me. So yeah, I think the NDAs are real good to have, like just in case you get your stuff right. Because I'm sure it's not just stuff you just type and write, and like you think like days, hours, or weeks, and and I'm sure you go through a lot of trial and error because I'm sure there's times where you just like writing and you got to go back like I gotta leave this out, I gotta leave that out.
Exactly. Yeah, very true. Something I didn't realize was a huge factor in this was Google. I write everything on Google Doc now, and Google Doc automatically saves everything, and they offer confidential mode, so I can send something to somebody and put confidential mode. Now you need a password to get in, and you can't download it to your phone. Like you have to read it in the email. Yeah. So shit like that, it's huge, and you don't realize how important it is until you're robbed, and you're like, lesson learned.
Yeah, we use that at work, and you could tell like when it's been edited, who edited, and stuff like that. Yeah, so salute to Google. Yeah, Google is your best friend.
You learn it, like you be like, yo, all this shit is free. Bet.
Yeah, like they got a lot of stuff on there. Like my current job and my last job, they big heavy on like using Google all the time. Like I was like, I didn't know like you could do all of this, like from meetings to docs to forms and all this stuff. I'm like, this is legit. Like that's
very much so.
Yeah,
so
like
I started an erotic blog through Google, but you realize people will either take from shit or they share it, and nobody wants to give you the feedback. So I was like, let me just take the blog down and like interact one-on-one with people. And that's when I started emailing people, and I was like, let me just confidential mode this real quick so nobody tries to like rob me for my shit again.
So like, what did you have on your blog?
The first, I want to say 4 stories are on the blog, and it was free. It's totally free. So if you go to, I believe, iTunes and Google Play, as well as Amazon, the first 3 stories are free to read and check out. And there's a story, Sleeping Mask. Sleeping Mask by far is the longest story I wrote in that book, and I halved it on the blog, and somebody tried to pass it off as mine. So that was the whole thing too. That came back to me, and I was like, I already have the whole story, so I know this is mine. But yeah, the blog was just stories, but now I'm building a website, and there's going to be stories. There's going to be erotic poetry. There's going to be audio notes, all that.
Nice. See, if you ain't move out of New York, it would have been easier to get things, going. But I mean, I could do the travel. I could travel in Massachusetts.
I definitely, I'd be back and forth in New York a lot. But being that I'm from New York, you can't stay in New York because New York is like, it makes you just depend on it. Once you get out of New York, you be like, yo, it's a lot more other shit outside of New York that there's to experience. I do YouTube as well. So there's a studio in New York.
I love YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is amazing. There's a studio in New York I want to record in and do knock off like 4 episodes in there. And it's like dirt cheap. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to come to New York and organize shit. So trust me, I'll be back and forth to New York a lot.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of studios too. Like that's another thing. I know a lot of studios. That's what I'm saying. Like I know, like the creative parts about it, I got it. Like whether the visuals and all that stuff, like how to tell it, like I got it all. Like I with me, like I said, I'm not an author. I could easily learn it, but it's like I never want to take anything away from people. Like I don't. I feel like it'll be disrespectful for me to go down that route, knowing that this is kind of. I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to be like a one hit wonder, but it's like I just got this idea. Like this isn't my life. Like this is your life, your hobby, and stuff like that. To me, I just have this creative mind, so it's better for me to partner up with author. Ideas, boom, boom, collaborate this and that, find this person, find that person, and everything. And especially with my experience, I definitely got the experience.
See, there you go. So real quick, don't take anything just because you haven't published anything doesn't make you not an author. You're just not established yet. So somebody had told me that before. They was like, yo, just because you weren't published, you're still an author. You're writing this pen to paper. You're an author. You just haven't established it out there yet. But trust me, you're there. Everything, like, I'm pretty sure you've had the moments where you be sitting there and there's an idea just nagging at your head.
Yeah.
And then you have to go and write it down and you're like, oh, this is good. So you are the author. You just haven't put it out there yet. It's in the works.
I mean, see, when I say that, I mean like I don't want to say I'm a poet just because I can write a couple words.
Yeah.
Like that's like I don't want to take that art away from the people who really do it. Like, oh, I'm a fashion designer because I got some designs printed on a shirt. Like, nah, it's more than that. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that's all it is to me. But yeah, I be having the ideas and stuff. But I mean, but what's the process with going with from transferring there from the Google and everything to hard, because you got the hardcover. Just walk because it might be somebody who's watching this and they want to do it and they don't know like the steps to it. Like, so just walk through your steps.
So the hardest step was the cover. That was the hardest step. So I'll save that for last. Wherever you write your stories, make sure it's always saved. So so I did Amazon, so I just automatically copied it from Amazon. I mean, from Google Doc to Amazon, and they allow you to upload it, and it's smooth as shit. Amazon is super big, but it's a headache and a half. But it's super convenient once you get the hang of it. So you can upload the doc to Amazon, and from there, Amazon will tell you all the typos you have and what you need to edit and go through. Because my girl is a grammar Nazi, I had her read it like 4 times, and she was like, all right, let me just change this, and this. So have somebody who hates typos and hates the errors who will feed that to you. From there, if you finish the book before you are ready, jot down little ideas about what the book is about, because you need the synopsis on the back. The back of my book is 5 of the chapters, and I just played with some words, and bam, there you go. And everybody sees it like, oh, this is great. And then from there, hopefully your cover will come together from everything that you're working on. I use Canva. Canva allows you to resize and reshape it to whatever dimension you want. And that's basically it. But you have to know the margins or the size of your book, because my book is 180 pages because it's 5 by 8. But if I did like 5 by 9, it now drops to 100 pages. So something so small could be detrimental to your whole process.
See, you know all of that. I didn't know any of that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's like I got like the creative part. You got like the hardware part. And
yeah, So I'm not selfish with shit. Like, if I've gone through it, I run to you to learn from my experiences, and I'm here to share. Like, all right, here you go. Like, don't do that. Do this. because it's going to drive you insane when you first do it, because you're just like, what the fuck is all this? And once you do it, you're like, that was fucking maddening. Like, I don't want to do it again. But because you know it, you know what to avoid now.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot to it. That's why that's why I would never say I'm. I mean, if you know, I speak into when me and you collab, and obviously, you know, I throw my ideas, you throw your ideas, we, you know, do this, and that. Yeah, I'll be an author, but I would still like be like, yo, I'm a grasshopper in this game. Like I'm
grasshopper. Nobody, every road that we think to take, somebody's tried it, and either they failed or they made it. You just got to take the L's as lessons. And that's been one of my things in life. No loss is a loss. It's just a lesson. You know what not to do next time.
I like that. Nah, but that's really good. Like, so, you know, just a little more on the book. You put the book out, you get the feedback there. I mean, I know you said this from your closest peoples and all that, but what's the wildest reaction you got from it so far?
My mom. So,
oh yeah, you said you gotta tell me.
The segue was great. I forgot my mom was on my Facebook, so of course I share it to my Facebook, and she calls me and she's like, "So you wrote a book?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah." And she was like, "I want a copy and I want you to sign it." And I was like, "All right, when it's done, I'll let you know." And I didn't tell her when it was done, and she ended up ordering a copy, and she was like, "Oh, I got your book," and I was like,
"Oh, Mom,
I don't want your details. I just want to know if it was good or bad, like if you liked it or not." And she was like, "No, it was good. It was really good. I like it." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "But," I was like, "All right, Mom, what we talking about?" She's like, No, it was really good. You know, I didn't know my son was this nasty motherfucker, but you know, all right, I can deal with this. And we talked a little bit about it, and it was great. And then there's two of my managers who got the book, and I wasn't expecting them to have the book. So when they had it, it was just like oh shit, am I getting fired for this?
Oh yeah, you gotta be careful. Like, you don't wanna go in HR and they got like pages from your book lined out.
So thankfully, I when I started writing the book and putting it together, I didn't use anything from my current job in the book, because that's a huge big thing with Department of Homeland Security. So it was great. She read it. She was like, "I like the book, and don't share this with everybody." And I was like, "Okay, thank you, bye."
Yep, you still got your job. That's good. But now, if you were to have an airport sex scene, that would get you fired? Like,
no, but like using TSA, for instance, would be like, "Oh shit, you fucked up."
Okay, I get it. You can't use the names. You just gotta be like, you can't say what. I mean, you work TSA, but you can't say, like, if I work JetBlue, I can't say JetBlue. Like,
you could, but you shouldn't work there, because, again, if something happened and they got wind of it, they're now going to tie you to that incident. So, you know, this person got it in at the bathroom at this location, and there's an incident where it actually happened. Your ass is on the line now.
But see, when I worked for the post office, I mean, their only rule is like we can't do stuff where like wearing our name or have the like logo attached to it or anything like that. So I always thought like just any act, like just don't wear my uniform when I'm doing this action. I'm good. Like,
Basically,
you'll be good. But I'm very big on details. Like when I like back when I had a podcast and even just like stuff like this, I like to give people a visual.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'll go as far as using like real, like even just like locate. Like I'll say, oh, New York, but I won't say a real bar in New York. I'll probably like make something up. You know,
exactly.
I won't go that far. Like I don't want to hurt anybody brand anything, and it's all fictional. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
it's material, you know, from some real time events, but like it's fictional. Like these people don't really exist. Like you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
whatever.
I want to touch back on one of the wildest reactions. One of my coworkers had brought the book, and she showed her husband the book, and I guess things were getting hot and heavy. Dude
Mhm.
stole the book and was like, "Yo, I can't keep up." Like, stole the book and hid it from her, and she ended up buying a second copy because the first copy was a gift from somebody else who had brought it for her, and she was like, "I need to finish this book." And realizing that, I'm just like, "Yo, I didn't realize how the impact the book would have because it was just written and fun."
Right. So with that being said, what's the goals now? Like, I mean, are you taking it serious, what, more serious now, or you still just yeah?
I'm definitely taking it more serious now. Now it's where you like you see the potential in it, and you're like, all right, let's see if I put more because this was like maybe a solid 30% of just like writing. Because when I tell people about the book, I'm like, yo, it progressively gets very detailed and very out there. And they're like, nah, it ain't that serious. And then like the first 2 pages, you're seeing like, oh shit, it's really detailed. So
Right.
now I'm just like, all right, now it's where you add more detail. It's where you add more feelings into it. You're really pouring into it because I didn't really pour into it. This was just spare writing I did, and I just edited it. It was like, all right, let's see how this goes, and it all came together perfectly. Now it's like I had the blueprint. Let's refine this now. Let's really like take out all the non-essential things and really like blow it up. So I have my Dodge Charger, but there's the Hellcat out there now that's being built.
Right. Like yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta, you know, they definitely gonna want you to step it up. And like you seem like you more people heard about like word of mouth and stuff. So you didn't heavy promote or anything like so. That's dope that you know you get this real intimate feedback. Like that's
Yeah.
dope.
A lot of this has been word of mouth. I haven't officially paid too much for anything outside of one shout out on one podcast, but once the word of mouth got out, it takes off. And like I said, I thought I'd sell like maybe 10 books, and I think I flipped that to like 70 or 80 books right now, and
Mm,
I haven't promoted it like that. It's just, oh, this is a great book. You should go check this out. And it's slow, but slow progress is better than no progress.
you're absolutely right. This actually motivated me because like it's like a lot of projects I got coming up, and you know I don't like forcing stuff on people. Like you know like I'll like promote, and
Hmm.
it's funny. I'm weird like that. Like with my peoples, I like promote heavy, but with myself, I'm like you know just go listen. I'll put it out there, and it's like all right,
You
cool.
don't want to be too much with it.
Right, right. So you know so
I I feel that in my soul because I have YouTube, and one of the things on YouTube everybody says is send it to everybody you know and remind them constantly. I'm like, that's gonna get annoying. Like
yeah,
people unfriend you and block you, and
right.
a few people text you. They're like, "Yo, I don't want to see this link. Like, I got it the first time. Like, let me finish working." And then I'm like, "All right, bet." So now it's like you learn what not to do and how not to over promote because it's nothing worse than the Instagram, Facebook ads constantly every 3 posts.
Yeah,
Bam, you're like, "Oh, I'm block it. I don't see it no more," and that can hurt your audience right there.
yeah, definitely. You gotta pace it and everything.
Yeah,
And you know, people who fuck with it, they'll fuck with it. Like
exactly.
so, yeah. As we coming on to the end, definitely want you to plug yourself. You know, let everybody know where to get the book and you know what's coming up.
All right. The current book out is A Taste of Lust. Uh, the next 2 books will be Sweeter Than Sin and Remy the Lavacious. Yeah, crazy. So I'm building a website currently, but everything will be available on Amazon. They take their cut, but that's their business. When I get my site started, that's more for me. Uh, it'll be DawsonCharles.com, so keep an eye out for that. Also, I'm on YouTube, Discussions with Dawson, where I talk about everything from sex toys to car accidents to men's hygiene. So definitely check that out. It's greatly appreciative. I'm on Twitter, DW Dawson on Twitter, and
Now, you have just watched the second part of my interview with 4playtonic. Tell me what you think. Tell me, do you think I did a good job? Tell me if you think he was a great interviewer. Tell me how you think my first interview went. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had an amazing time doing the interview. I had an amazing time conversating with him. If you want, you can follow him on Instagram at 4playtonic. I'll put the name right here. And Twitter, same thing, 4playtonic. Follow him on Twitter. He's a great dude. We're collaborating soon. And as always, don't forget to do better, be better, and stay better. Peace.